I need to tell you something that most English teachers will never say out loud. Most people who think they are intermediate level English speakers, they are not. They are actually lower. And most people who think they are beginners, they are actually higher than they believe.
And this confusion, this gap between what you think your level is and what it actually is, it is costing you every single day. Because you are practicing the wrong things, focusing on the wrong skills, wasting time on what you already know, and ignoring what you actually need.
Today, we are going to fix that with a real test, not grammar questions, not multiple choice, a real conversation test, the kind that actually shows where your English lives.
5 levels, 5 challenges, and by the end, you will know exactly where you stand, honestly, clearly, and you will know exactly what to do next.
Stay with us, because level 3, that's where most people get surprised, in ways they did not expect.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast where we help you speak English naturally and confidently through real, honest conversations.
I'm John.
And I'm Maria. And today, we are doing something we have never done before on this podcast.
A live English level test, right here, right now, while you listen.
This episode is for all levels, from absolute beginners to advanced learners. Because today, we find out exactly where you are.
How are you feeling today, Maria?
Honestly, a little nervous on behalf of our listeners, because some of them are about to discover something surprising about their English.
In a good way, though. Always in a good way. Before we start, thank you. Really, thank you for being here and for being brave enough to take this test honestly.
Because honest is the only way this works. Let's go.
Okay, before we start the test, I want to share something with you. Something that changed how I think about language levels completely.
Tell us.
A few years ago, I met a woman at a language school. She had been studying English for 8 years. 8 years of classes, 8 years of homework, 8 years of grammar exercises.
Wow, that's a long time.
And she walked into the school on her first day and said, "I am B2 level, upper intermediate. I have been studying for 8 years."
And was she?
The teacher gave her a simple test, not grammar, just tell me about yourself. Tell me about your week. What do you think about this topic?
And?
She froze. She could write English perfectly. Her grammar on paper was beautiful. But speaking, real spontaneous speaking, she was closer to A2.
8 years, and still A2 in conversation.
Because she had been practicing the wrong things. For 8 years. She knew grammar, but she had never practiced actually using English in real situations.
And this is so common. So many learners have the same experience. They study hard, they feel like they're improving, but their real conversational level, it doesn't match what they think.
And the only way to find out is to test yourself, honestly, with real conversations, not grammar exercises.
So today, that's exactly what we're doing. And I want you to do something right now, before we start the test.
What?
In your head, guess your level. A 1, A2, B1, B2, or C1. Whatever you think you are right now.
Hold that number, because by the end of this episode, you might be surprised.
Maybe higher than you thought, maybe lower. But either way, you will have the truth. And the truth, it's the only thing that actually moves you forward.
Maybe this is you. You've been studying for a while, but something feels stuck, like you're not really improving. Today, we find out why. Okay, let's start. Level A1, the foundation, the beginning of everything.
And I want to say something important before we describe this level. A lot of people feel embarrassed about being A1, like it means they're not smart or not working hard enough.
And that is completely wrong.
Completely wrong. A1 is not a failure. A1 is a starting point, and every single fluent English speaker in the world, everyone, started at A1.
At A1, you know basic words. Hello, goodbye, thank you, please. You can say your name, your country, your age. You understand very slow, clear English when someone speaks directly to you.
And here is something A1 learners can do that many higher level learners cannot. They ask for help. Simply, directly. Please speak slowly. Can you repeat that? What does this word mean?
That communication skill, asking for what you need, it's actually very powerful at any level.
Okay, A1 challenge. I want you to answer this out loud, right now. Don't think too long, just speak.
Ready? Here is the question. What is your name and where are you from?
Answer it out loud, in English.
If you answered that question with your real name and your real country without stopping, you passed A1.
And that might sound simple, but for someone who has never spoken English before, that question is terrifying. So if you answered, celebrate that.
Now, here is the A1 to A2 gap, and this is where many people get stuck longer than they should.
Most A1 learners, they understand more English than they can speak. They recognize words. They follow along in simple conversations. But when it's time to speak, nothing comes out.
This is called passive knowledge. You have the words inside, but they haven't become active yet.
Active knowledge means you can use the words, not just recognize them. And the only way to make passive knowledge active is to speak out loud every day, even to yourself.
So, if you're A1 right now, your one job is this. Speak out loud in English every single day, even 5 minutes, even alone, even badly.
Especially badly. The bad speaking comes before the good speaking, always.
Okay, a 2, elementary level. And this is actually a really exciting level because this is where English starts to feel real.
At a 2, you can have simple conversations. You can talk about your family, your job, your daily routine. You can handle basic situations, shopping, directions, ordering food.
And here is the exciting thing about a 2. You start to understand jokes, simple ones. And that feeling when you understand a joke in another language for the first time?
It's one of the best feelings in language learning.
It really is. Okay, a 2 challenge. This one is a little harder. Answer out loud with at least 3 sentences.
Tell me about your daily routine. What do you do in the morning before work or school?
Take a moment, think, and speak.
If you answered that with 3 or more sentences describing your actual morning, you are at a 2 or higher. Good.
Now here is the A2 trap. And this is very important because many people stay at a 2 for years, not because they're not studying, but because of one specific mistake.
What mistake?
They only practice English in safe situations, situations where they know what's going to be said, where they can prepare.
Like, they practice dialogues, they memorize phrases, they answer questions they've heard before.
But real English, real conversation, it's unpredictable. Someone asks you something you didn't prepare for, and if you've only practiced safe situations,
You freeze. even though your English is actually a 2.
So the A2 practice challenge is this. Put yourself in one unpredictable English situation every week. A real conversation with a real person where you don't know exactly what they'll say.
It will be uncomfortable, it will feel hard, and it will move you to B1 faster than any textbook.
Okay, B1, intermediate. And I want to say something about this level that might surprise you.
What's that?
B1 is the most important level in English learning. Not B2, not C1, B1.
Why?
Because B1 is where most people give up. B1 is the hardest level to move through, and B1 is where the biggest transformation happens if you push through.
At A1 and A2, progress is fast. Every day you learn new words. Every day you can do something new. The improvement is visible, exciting.
But at B1, the progress slows down. You feel like you're studying hard and not improving. You understand most things, but you still can't express yourself the way you want to.
And this feeling, this plateau means a flat period where you stop improving. It's the #1 reason people quit English at B1.
But here's what most people don't know. The plateau is not real. You are improving. You're just improving in ways that are harder to see.
Your brain is organizing, consolidating. Consolidating means bringing things together, making them solid.
And then one day, something shifts, and suddenly you can say things you couldn't say before. Not because you studied something new, but because everything old finally connected.
Okay, B1 challenge. This is the one I mentioned earlier, the one where most people get surprised.
Listen carefully. Answer out loud, with at least 5 sentences. Don't stop even if it's imperfect.
Tell me about a difficult situation you faced recently. What happened? How did you feel? And what did you do?
Take a moment. Really think about a real situation and speak.
If you answered that, with connected sentences, with feelings, with a beginning and an end, you are at B1, possibly approaching B2.
And if you struggled, if you understood the question but couldn't produce the answer, that is also important information. It means your passive English is B1, but your active English, your speaking, needs more practice.
And the fix is simple. Not more studying, more speaking.
Every day, answer one question out loud, in English, about your real life, your real feelings, your real experiences.
5 minutes a day, every day, and watch what happens in 60 days.
Okay, B2, upper intermediate. And this is the level that most of our listeners are working towards.
At B2, something magical happens. English stops feeling like a foreign language. It starts feeling like a tool you actually own.
You stop translating in your head. You start thinking directly in English. Slowly at first, but it happens.
At B2, you can discuss complex topics, not just facts, but opinions, analysis, hypothetical situations. What would you do if? What do you think about? How do you feel about?
And you can handle unexpected situations, unfamiliar vocabulary, fast speech, strong accents.
You don't understand everything, but you don't need to. You catch enough to participate, to contribute, to connect.
B2 challenge. This one requires real depth of thought. Answer out loud, as long as you can.
Do you think social media has made people more connected or more lonely? Give me your honest opinion with reasons.
Take a moment, think, and speak freely.
If you answered that with a clear opinion, supporting reasons, and connected ideas, you are at B2, possibly C1.
Now, C1, advanced. And I want to be honest about C1, because a lot of people think C1 means perfect English. It doesn't.
C1 means effortless English. Not perfect, effortless.
At C1, you can express yourself without noticeable effort, without long pauses to find words, without visible struggle.
You understand humor, sarcasm, irony, cultural references, the things that native speakers say between the lines.
And at C1, your mistakes are small, subtle. Most people don't even notice them.
C1 challenge, and this one is genuinely difficult. Answer with nuance, with emotion, with depth.
Describe a moment in your life when you completely changed the way you see the world. What happened? Why did it change you? And who would you be today if it hadn't?
Take your time. This one needs real thought and real English.
If you answered that with complex ideas, emotional depth, connected reasoning, and natural transitions, you are at C1.
And maybe, just maybe, you discovered today that you are higher than you thought.
Or lower. And both are gifts. Because now you know exactly where to go.
Can I say something that I think is really important before we finish?
Please.
A lot of people came into this episode hoping they were B2, and maybe they discovered they're B1. And that moment, that discovery, it can feel deflating.
Deflating means the excitement goes out, like air leaving a balloon.
But I want to reframe that feeling completely, because discovering you are B1 when you thought you were B2, that is not bad news.
That is the best news you could receive today.
Because now, you know, you are not wandering anymore. You have a location, B1, and from B1, the path to B2 is clear.
You know what to work on. You know what to practice. You know where the gap is.
And that clarity, that honest self-knowledge, it accelerates everything. People who know their exact level improve faster than people who guess.
Because they practice the right things, at the right level, in the right way.
And I want to say something to everyone who took this test honestly today, who didn't cheat, who didn't pretend.
You are already doing something most people never do. You are facing your reality clearly, and that takes courage.
Real courage. Not the dramatic kind, the quiet, honest kind. The kind that actually changes things.
And change, real change, it always starts with this, with honesty, with one clear question. Where am I right now?
And today, you answered that question.
Remember this, your level today is not your limit. It is your launching point.
Say it again.
Your level today is not your limit. It is your launching point.
Write that down. Put it somewhere you can see it. And every time you feel discouraged, read it. Okay, everyone, let's slow down now. Word tour time!
Keywords from today. Say them with us.
Word 1. Plateau. This means a flat period where progress seems to stop. Example 1. Every English learner hits a plateau at some point, usually around B1. Example 2. A plateau is not the end of progress. It is the brain organizing what it has learned.
Plateaus are not failures. They are preparation. Push through them every time.
Word 2. Passive knowledge. This means words and structures you recognize but cannot yet use. Example 1. She had a lot of passive knowledge. She understood everything but struggled to speak. Example 2. Passive knowledge becomes active through speaking practice, not more studying.
Recognize the difference between your passive and active English. Work on making passive knowledge active every day.
Word 3. Consolidating. This means bringing things together and making them solid, organizing what you have learned. Example 1. After months of input, her brain was consolidating all the new vocabulary. Example 2. Sleep actually helps consolidate language learning. Rest is part of the process.
Trust the consolidating process. It happens invisibly, and then one day, things click, and you feel the change.
Word 4. Spontaneous. This means happening naturally without preparation. Example 1. At B2, conversations start to feel spontaneous. You stop preparing every sentence. Example 2. Spontaneous English comes from speaking regularly in real, unplanned situations.
Practice spontaneous speaking. Put yourself in situations where you cannot prepare. That is where real fluency lives.
Word 5. Implicit. This means something suggested but not directly stated. Example 1. Understanding implicit meaning, like sarcasm or irony, is a sign of C1 level. Example 2. He picked up on the implicit criticism in her comment. His English was clearly advanced.
Implicit understanding is the final frontier of language learning. It comes with time and deep immersion.
Word 6. Effortless. This means happening without noticeable effort or struggle. Example 1. C1 English feels effortless. Not perfect, but natural and flowing. Example 2. Effortless speaking is the goal, not perfect speaking.
Effortless is the feeling. Not perfect, not flawless, just natural. That is what you are working towards.
Word 7. Reframe. This means to look at something from a completely different perspective. Example 1. She reframed her B1 result as a launching point rather than a failure. Example 2. Reframing challenges as opportunities changes how you approach everything.
Reframe your level. Reframe your mistakes. Reframe your journey. The story you tell about your English, it shapes your English.
Word 8. Accelerate. This means to increase speed, to move faster. Example 1. Knowing your exact level accelerates your progress enormously. Example 2. Speaking practice accelerates English improvement faster than any other method.
Know your level, practice specifically, and watch how your progress accelerates. It will surprise you. Okay, based on where you are, here is your one specific action for this week.
If you are A1, speak out loud in English for 5 minutes every day, even alone, even to your mirror. Just speak.
If you are a 2, have one real, unplanned English conversation this week with a real person, even a short one.
If you are B1, answer one opinion question out loud every day. Pick any topic and speak for 2 minutes without stopping.
If you are B2, watch one English video or read one English article about a complex topic this week and explain what you learned in English out loud.
If you are C1, find one native speaker conversation this week, online or in person, and push yourself to use nuance, humor, irony, the deeper layer of English.
And here is your sentence template for today.
I am at blank level. My biggest gap right now is blank. And this week, I will practice blank every day.
Say it out loud, right now.
I am at blank level. My biggest gap right now is blank. And this week, I will practice blank every day.
Fill in the blanks honestly, and then do it. Okay, comment challenge time.
This week's question, and this might be the most important comment you ever leave on this podcast.
What level did you discover you are today? Was it higher or lower than you expected? And what is your one specific goal for the next 30 days?
Write it using this sentence. I discovered I am blank level. I expected to be blank. And in the next 30 days, I am going to blank every day.
Write it in English. Be completely honest.
Because that comment, that commitment, it is the beginning of your next level. Right there, in those words.
We read every single comment, every one, and we are genuinely excited to see your answers today.
If this episode helped you or surprised you, please give it a like. It really helps more people find us and discover their real level.
And subscribe to Speak Unstoppable if you haven't yet. New episodes every day, real conversations, real English, real life.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being honest with yourself.
That honesty, it is the most powerful thing you brought to this episode today.
And it will be the most powerful thing you bring to your English journey.
Your level today is not your limit.
It is your launching point.
Until next time, know where you are. Own it completely.
And then, go beyond it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye!